and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That all didn't give a hoot.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah.
Next door over, they gotta see each other.
Yeah, they have to be.
Yeah.
Mine, these,
Public discussion. I don't think, is anybody here for public discussion? I see none. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda and minutes dated April 25th, 2023? Motion by Carter, second by Josh. Sure. Any discussion on the minutes or the agenda?
For the meeting and mileage portion of it, we never set a dollar or anything, but, is that how everyone wants that worded or what? Cause I guess the way I read it, it's like it was not discussed previously and that wasn't really the case.
Oh, in the minutes.
But it was
Sorry.
agreed to from this point forward,
Discussion.
discussion on expenses would be held. I thought we talked about major expenses, but and they were discussed previously too, but yeah, for the minutes.
I mean, I think we all kind of know what it
I think
means. I mean,
the intent was there, then,
not that. I don't think it's I'm turning in my mileage for coming to the boardroom, like, it's. I mean, I think we
Just,
all kind of have an
wanted to
idea
bring
what
that, just
yeah.
wanted to bring that up in case it was referred to later, that this is in the minutes, so.
okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, sorry.
They're all the same as what's on your,
Okay.
in your, electronic stuff too.
Everybody had a chance to look at the claims. Any question on any of the claims?
So,
These are all the same, that's what's in here.
Yeah, the same as what's in the folder. Would I have a motion to approve the claims?
so moved.
Motion by Stecker, second by Carter.
They're listed, not the receipts.
Okay, wait, so yeah, the receipts,
Yeah. But everybody's had a chance to look at the receipts. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the claims, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. What do you want to do first? Sure. We got the others. Yeah, I'm trying to take it apart. Elaine, would you like to come up? 20 whole years.
24 years.
And they like stickers. Thank you very much.
No, that one came this way.
Oh. Yeah.
Excellent.
What's Roger going to do? Miss you.
There's plenty of people over there. Jail.
Chippy,
That means to sign this one too.
25 years. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Coming back the other way.
Yeah, yeah.
Wanna stand
One more. One more. You brought reinforcements. Didn't want to talk the crowd would be. So stick around.
I'll be another 25 years.
Thanks, Judy.
Thanks, Judy.
You could challenge, what was her name that stayed forever?
That was downstairs.
Yeah.
Was it Mavis? Is that her name?
What is trust?
Mabel.
Oh, Emerald.
Marble.
Margot, I was close.
You could challenge Marble.
Thank you.
Bill,
Yes.
we'll have discussion and approval on EMF's staff pay scale and update.
So the update is basically just a job description, that's when I presented that last time. I wasn't aware of. That we had changed the structure, like how it was set up, so. Basically, we just, the job descriptions are the same as we approved before, we just made 5 different job descriptions to match the pay scale versus the 2 job descriptions we had before. There was one change on the critical care paramedic one. Down at the bottom where it says, qualifications, that just says, out part public health paramedic certification. I need to change that to just, critical care paramedic certification.
Did you hear anything back?
So I talked to Mike yesterday. He's out of the office, and so he had forwarded it to Anne, works with Ayers and Cooney. She just sent me an email that said that she didn't realize we needed them today, and she's gonna look at them and get back to us ASAP, but I don't know what that means. ASAP.
Okay, what's the state?
It's about the job descriptions.
Oh.
I didn't see anything.
So we're gonna have
I
to
get,
So it's up to you if you want to go ahead, or if you want to wait, postpone until we hear back from her. She's gonna get back. I mean, just.
we might hear back today.
Oh, yeah, she said ASAP, so I'm guessing here in the next hour or so, but I
Yeah.
don't.
I'd say the change for the critical care to take care of that, otherwise that's the only thing I noticed when I looked through everything. Cause then
Would
then
you
it
be all
should,
right with waiting until we hear back?
yeah, that'd probably be a good idea, just leave it on the agenda, leave it
Right.
open and wait till the end of the meeting and act on it then if we don't hear anything.
And what was the change on the critical care, though, so I can pass that on?
The critical care one just says paramedic,
Okay.
like paramedic, it doesn't say critical care.
Oh, and, okay, that's okay.
And that'd be a separate level of service.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can come back to that. Is that all right with you, Phil?
Yes, yeah.
Being that we went through this.
Started this April 4th. Communication goes, helps.
I don't think
Yeah,
we
right.
got the job descriptions to send to them until next week, so. Based on time.
I'm not talking, yeah.
We'll just get a response and it'll be fine.
We should get it today.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Should
I
be.
don't, if we don't get it
Just-
today, we'll have to pass it anyhow, cause we're running out of time.
yeah, yeah, just,
That's my
we'll,
opinion.
we'll give them an hour, hour and a
Yeah.
half, 2 hours. And act on it later in the meeting.
We're pushing this to the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just later in the day.
Anything else, Phil, for an update?
no, I'll have some stuff next week again, those, policies and stuff we sent last week. We did discuss them at the advisory council again last week. Because there were so many of them, pushed them back one more week from this week, give you guys a little more time, give them a little more time. Then we get those approved, so I start getting the signatures on all of them from the other services in the county.
Okay,
Trying to finalize with Todd on the transfer of assets. I did go to the Algonah City Council meeting last night. We did have a conversation there, so I did not see any red flags coming up from any size. Should be a smooth transition. It's just a matter of getting the finalized words in place for Todd and getting that approved.
good.
So hopefully I can meet with him again today and keep on top of that.
There's, lots to do.
Yep.
Yep.
Every day there's something to do. Every day I think something else that's not on my list.
Is next.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it keeps you entertained.
Needs to be entertained, you know.
Yeah,
So after you would post the job descriptions, then you would take applications, right? And
Yeah, I
then-
did start actually advertising.
Okay, oh, so then you've already
Two
advertised,
already.
We have to meet
Yep.
the Fair Labor Standards Act, you know, the
right?
posting and all that stuff.
Right.
Offer any positions, but
So then when do you, I guess, hire them per se? I mean, for July 1st, but,
yeah, it'll be effective July first.
do we, I guess, when are we,
I'd like to have it, the offers out, you know, May.
sure. We're coming up here soon then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least have the offers out to full-time staff so they know where they're at and not wait until the last minute to know what their offer is with the county.
so then the jobs
Sign it.
would, or then you would present them to the board and the board would, you know, go through that and then they would be good to go for
For sure, I have
July.
to go through the process of getting approval from the advisory council.
In the advisory council,
Make the
yeah,
recommendation to you guys to go ahead and.
sure, sure.
I'm also going to involve Dr. Wendy, who's our medical director. He does see their skills. He does work with them in the emergency room, so that would be a key factor too, as far as appointing everybody.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
it's just letting the guys.
So you just gotta go through the advisory council and then the board,
So that-
Yeah.
being recommended to the board and then moving forward from there.
And as far as Doc Lamp is basically gonna be, you know, get the applications and have a conversation with him, whether it's a person, then bring that recommendation to the advisory council. and you
Sure.
guys.
Perfect.
Yeah,
sounds like
it
plan.
was good.
Do you-
Thank you.
do you
Yeah,
want
thanks, Phil.
me to- do you want us to call you?
You can call me in case it's an hour. I get ready to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, sounds good.
Call myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks, Phil.
Passing a letter down that come from the city about a zoning change within the city limits, and it's advising us that there's a date where they're going to have the hearing.
Board of Adjustment.
I've already, I boarded that site already.
So take a peek at it. And you're,
Morning, Doug.
Morning.
Good morning.
Doug, we have one construction in the right of way.
Correct. Titanca Communications, various locations in Bird, Portland, Union and Plum Creek Township. They are adding on to their system and repairing some spots in their system for communications. We have this all as approval. It's one application. Yeah, just a list of those on the.
It's plowing in and on our road show.
Yeah, they'll be on paved road shoulders, they'll be on the shoulders and gravel road, it'll be part of the, I'll need to do the gravel. We're meeting with them, we're trying to identify spots that they need to be boring, drainage structures and different things like that. I would recommend that the board would approve of this.
I would move to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second
second.
by Stecker. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carried unanimous.
I just played for their annual banquet.
For Ty,
Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Discussion, construction. Americans are working, they're planning to pour their deck next Monday. So that'll be, if the weather cooperates this week, that'll be a busy day for our office. The airport expansion project, I know the city met last night. I don't know if they awarded that contract or not. I have not heard yet. We have a couple of pieces of equipment that are down right now. A loader, we got an oil leak that's gonna probably be around a $5,000 bill. And we have a truck with some diagnostic issues that they're trying to get resolved over at Decorah. And that's gonna be 5,000. That is gonna be close to 5,000, we estimate. ITC Midwest, Elmore, Minnesota, they have I think it's a 69 kV transmission line that runs, I don't know, 600 feet out in the field for half a mile or so. It's on the west side of Highway 169. They would like to, at the state line, move that east to the west road right of way of Highway 169. And then move it south, so south along Highway 169, the road easement that would give them, in case of some sort of an emergency, a lot easier access to that line, and also the owner more access for farming. Their question to me is, does the board want a drainage district easement for that project? Again, they'd be moving about 600 feet east along the state line. And I think there's a couple of tiles right in there. And then they'd be going south along the west road right away for a while. They jog around an acreage, go to the east side of 169, go south, and then they connect back up with the line that's already on the west side of Highway 169.
Their substations, that's right there.
Pardon me,
Their sub is right there by Lakota.
correct.
Yeah, there would be
It
some
is a
tiles
drainage
and
district.
ditches.
They're gonna cross,
110, I believe.
they're gonna cross a couple different drains.
Well, 110's right up by the border. How far south did you say it
One
goes?
half mile.
Okay, so yeah, it would be through 110. Yeah, there's a couple tile right there on the south side of Elmore.
Well, there's yeah. One we just, the width,
This is a map here.
that's on the east side. 10. It
No,
goes across the road into. I get it, Coy's,
Dale Price is on the west side.
yeah, Dale's on there.
I would say it would probably be a good idea.
We'll start working with them to get that taken care of. Midwest Carbon that's the Summit Carbon Solutions. They've submitted some applications to us. One was drainage, road entrances, road crossings. I have not replied to them other to say, with our ordinance and where we're at with our ordinance, and where we're at with the Iowa Utility Board. Once the utility board and everything else is taken care of, then we will move forward. However, saying that, Luke Snyder, Doug Crouch and myself have met. We are getting some data on the GIS system so that, in case, everything progresses and they need this information, it'll be quickly, they'll be able to react quickly. So we're not gonna be bringing anything to the board, but we are going to be mapping things and looking at things and, probably with that drainage district easement, once they have identified everything and we have, reviewed and made sure that everything that they are planning on doing, has been identified as far as drainage. We'll probably just give the board map so you're aware. Navigator, there is some applications there, but that's road, having to do with roads. And again, we're doing the very same thing.
And for the drainage side and all that, are you working with Snyder and McClure on all that stuff too, or is that mostly in-house?
Right now, it's in-house, our procedure, we provide them with some drainage maps. They identify where their easements are required, we review that. Then the board would, appoint somebody to watch the drainage
Well,
district.
we've already made that appointment with our contract with Snyder and McClure
So they will be doing the drainage work as
for,
well.
for both well, McClure is supposed to be like the subcontractor, basically. It's all going through Snyder, but McClure is the
Well, that's
majority of the.
representing the landowners, that's the.
No.
So they're doing both.
They're doing both,
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Will that be Navigator as well?
both projects.
Okay.
Yep.
Because they will be. There will be two separate work that they're gonna be doing.
Yep.
One would be what is spelled out in the code section for the pipelines. And the other one, what is our procedure for
Yeah, so
drainage districts?
that's why I brought it up. It'd probably be good to be in communication with them if they want anything.
Well, that's fine.
or process.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Discussion.
Doug, I was gonna bring this up during my discussion, but since you're here, did you get the email from Craig Schoenfield, who represents Navigator, inviting the board and you to participate in a technical briefing if you're interested? I didn't.
I did receive,
I didn't
I
know
was
if I
copied
should-
on that,
Okay,
yeah, I think was for the board supervisors on that.
I didn't know if I should be responding to that, or I did forward it to Christina at Snyder, and her response was that she attended one in Webster County, and they did provide some plume data, but wouldn't allow anyone to leave the room with a copy of the information, so I didn't know if you guys wanted me to reach back to them, or what. what
Did you forward the email to us?
Yeah.
We already
We got
got
Yeah,
it.
you were-
We got it directly from
Yeah.
Craig.
I forwarded it to Christina so that she got it. So I just wanted.
No, I
to
received
you
it, that's fine. Yeah, whatever the board would. I guess it's up to the board on that one.
I'll just wait and see what you tell me to do then. If I don't hear anything, I'll worry about it.
Letter from the Board of Health.
I did, yeah.
So
Yeah, they did.
In fact, Craig
I
Craig
read all that.
requested a
They
They
just,
just invited
of
us.
that from me and I forwarded it to him. Then
no,
shortly
it's
after.
not a meeting, it was to
Yeah.
let us know
Yeah,
that they
Lynn's,
can come
Bill's
here.
needs a copy back
and
too.
do
She,
a briefing
she needs a copy back sent to the state.
Okay,
to the board,
was,
so it's not.
were you gonna take care of that or do you want somebody to? Tammy is gonna see.
She's gonna send her a copy back.
There's no,
I
okay,
emailed it this morning, so
that's fine, yeah.
this is what it was.
Doug, do you have any contacts for Duke Energy or anyone for the project, Wex project around Lead Yard? Or
Yeah, are you
Jim.
specifically talking to Jim Ryan? They're gonna be sending him a letter.
Okay, that works.
What do you wanna do with the Navigator pipeline? Do you want them to come in and have a meeting, or?
I don't think it's gonna change anything.
I don't think we'll learn anything.
No, I mean, they've been in here
Yeah,
monthly.
is that,
I won't worry about it unless I hear something else. from
that's
you.
consensus of the board, just,
Yeah,
That would be my opinion.
okay. Yep, thank you.
And I won't worry about it, but
All right,
Thanks, Doug.
you're welcome. We'll be back at 10 o'clock.
okay, you. And I did get the number from Tim, so.
Pardon me.
Tim did email that, the number we wanted to spell that, so.
Okay, you have it, that's great. Okay, great, thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
Wanna go do drainage?
Yep.
Sure.
We're gonna have a big break this morning.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I'll give you time to read your folder before Whipple comes in.
I read through it in tractor.
Did you?
Yeah, the nice thing about GPS, I can read a little bit, a little bit like this, but
Too much of it's written in lawyer jargon.
A lot of it.
It's kind of double speak.
yeah. I didn't think it was too bad to read. But some of it is a little bit, like you say, I don't know, just confusing language, but same time makes sense.
Did you hear any, Roger, did you hear anything more on that one for Bill Mavis? They get
No.
her taken care of or
I
don't?
haven't heard anything. The one that's for,
Blake Bird?
that's done.
Okay,
But I think Blake's dad went out and did it according to Blake.
oh, really?
Yeah, so. He got impatient. I haven't heard anything about Bill. The one in,
Landowner, so can we go on to auditor and supervisors and then come back with?
Yes.
this?
sure can. Let's start time with the auditor.
Okay, so I have a few things, already talked about the letter I gave you out this morning. So a reminder, tomorrow's open enrollment. So for, Josh and Carter, we haven't been through this before. This is our insurance update. We have yearly, on a yearly basis. And just goes over our plans and any updates or any new information, basically just a yearly review of our insurance. And there's 3 different, sessions you can attend. You only need to attend one, they're all the same. From 9 to 9:30 or 1 to 1:30 at the election center or 5 to 5:30 at the. So, any of those. A reminder, department head meeting Thursday here in the boardroom. At 9 o'clock. Now, I haven't talked to Todd and Judy. I need to talk to them again. They, were supposed to have another meeting at that same time, so they were, Judy was hoping maybe they could do a telephone hearing and they wouldn't have to be gone, and then maybe we could just move it back. But I haven't heard anything from her, so right now it's set for 9 o'clock, but if that changes, I will let you know. We talked about the email from Navigator. Next week. I think we have a lot yet, but that seems to change very quickly in a week. So next week, Todd Holmes is meeting with all of us and department heads at the end of the board meeting to go over chapter 1 and chapter 22 of Iowa Code, which is public meeting, laws or public record requests and open meeting. So that's next week, and then the only other thing so far is to approve the yearly lease with early childhood development already. I think that's.
Jack, you got any reports? Pardon?
I had Care Connections meeting last Tuesday. Things are moving forward there with their office there in Spencer, and heard updates from the different departments under Care Connections. One thing that they've started doing is, thought was interesting, is they're implementing yoga sessions for fifth graders and, for mental health patients in the schools. And there's a particular fifth grader that, whose parents didn't want him to be medicated. They didn't want him on medication for ADHD and autism and stuff, and so they're having him go through these yoga sessions, and it has improved a lot, and they've seen improvement, so they've been doing that with some different kids. Molly Schreiber is one looking in that area, they're doing it at the Royal School south of Spencer, at the elementary school there. And then we in Kossuth County here have hired a replacement for Haley, as our community liaison. Marissa Miller is her name, and, she spent the last 11 years working at Exop.
Mm.
And she did case management and oversaw the other case managers, working with that, and Haley, Bo Miller was telling us this, and Haley has kept good records and left a good foundation for Marissa to pick up on. And Haley's been meeting with Marissa and just to aid in the transition and stuff, so she's been very good to work with and moving forward there. We have a $2,603,518.54 fund balance. We have a little over $1.2 million remaining to spend, for this year, yeah, so, yep.
That's good and bad.
You're right. And then, Anna Miller, with the Adult and Children's Services Coordinator, gave us an update and, just about some things she's been doing the past couple months. One thing I thought was interesting is she said she was at the Arbor Day Parade here in Algona. Did any of you know we had an Arbor Day Parade in Algona? I've lived here my whole life and I never knew we had an Arbor Day Parade. I thought that was interesting, but,
Me.
that.
Coming
I
from
get-
a Algona resident.
Yeah,
In other words, you didn't participate?
We always shine the truck up nice, take it down Band-Aid, but Arbor Day.
Arbor Day, I didn't know that
I'll
was.
put
a
it on the calendar.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, yeah, that was Care Connections and, just, yeah, went out, looked at some drainage and, repairs and stuff, and that was about it for this week. One thing I will say is, I did have a resident, did I say anything about the Divine Park down by St. Joe before? Okay, I did have a resident in Laverne there, that asked if I would go on a drive with him. And we went over to the Divine Wildlife area there, right by Jigsaw Corner,
Mhm.
and it's really rough. As far as when you go back in there, there's a lot of trash and brush and stuff that needs to be cleaned up and, the gravel's not very good, back in there's a lot of ruts and stuff, so I didn't know if that would fall under the road department or if that would fall under the conservation or who, so I was gonna ask Doug about it and ask maybe Kendall Stummy and see what we could work out, cause there's a lot of people that use that for fishing and boat access and that kind of stuff, so. Other than that, that's,
I've been down there, about lost a shock on my car.
yeah,
Josh?
All right, so, had several meetings last week. The first one was the economic development. Just kind of discussed we got, 5 active, revolving loan funds right now. As far as business investments, it looks like we've got, a little over 98,000 out, for helping businesses and stuff like that. They got brought up the intern breakfast on May 24th, and then the countywide breakfast on July 26th. we went over a SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Talking about different things around, the county as far as, what strengths we can use for building up, more of our economy, such as like bringing in more, employees, things like that, businesses, just trying to attract, more workers to come to Kossuth County. Just kind of, there was a lot of good discussion that happened with that. Actually came up with some plans. We discussed, needing to set up a succession plan as Maureen is getting ready for retirement as well as Linda. So they're working on, they did bring up that there's a couple people that are actually interested, so there's some good news there. They're gonna be working with them to, kind of go through and get the more information on what the job details are and things like that, so. And then we did emergency management commission meeting. We discussed, let's see, we had some policy reviews for fraud reporting, equipment and property procedure, protected, personal information, conflicts of interest, and a refreshment policy. We went through and approved all of those. Approved a couple of the ESF plans. And we did discuss the GPS on the emergency management vehicle. We were kind of locked in a 4-4 vote on that. So it'll be tabled for the next meeting. We'll have another discussion on it. And just kind of briefly went over the budget. There are some bill that's coming down from the state right now discussing some EMA changes, both to the makeup of the commission to be more resemblant of the assessor's office. So the school board would have representatives, the mayors, and then the full board would be part of it. The sheriff would be made the chair of that commission automatically, but would not get a vote. So there's a lot of opposition to that because the sheriff needs to have a vote in the commission. One of the other big things coming out from this bill, I think, I want to say it was Senate Bill 270, is the spending on it. They're kind of doing the same thing with what we're seeing. The fund balances need to be reduced. So they're talking, needing to spend some money down to get it down to that. So there was some discussion of potentially getting another EMA vehicle. So then that way the truck that she has right now can stay at the EMA building, hooked up to the trailer for use. I think we kind of talked about that last week a little bit, so nothing further than that so far. There's no, we're not actually out looking at trucks or anything like that. Just kind of brought up in the discussion that if this bill goes through, that the fund balance has to drop down to like 30% or something along those lines.
Was there any discussion of lowering the tax asking instead of spending extra?
Well, the fund balance right now, I think they said was up over like 300,000 or something. I can't remember the exact amount.
You're in the ballpark.
Yep. So, with that fund balance there right now, yes, that could potentially be the futures, to lower the asking, but that doesn't, solve what they have right now for a fund balance and what they need to have after the bill passes. So,
If it does.
if it does. And then afterwards, we had a 911 Joint Services Board meeting. We did not have a quorum, so couldn't really make much for decisions. Just got some updates on the I-6 system. Just discussed getting radios for the schools. They've got the radios. They're just working on getting them programmed. And these radios will basically be in the schools and they're kind of in a network with the law enforcement, fire department and stuff like that, so they can stay in communication without having to use phone systems. And then there was some discussion on cost share for EMS pagers. Phil was there for that. There was no decision made, obviously, because we didn't have a quorum. Just got some updates on the GPS systems from Derek. He talked about, I think this week they're working on getting the GPS systems in the ambulances. I think that's about all I had.
Bill touched on the EMS Advisory Council meeting. Most of the rest of my week was drainage and other stuff that way. Me and Roger have had conversations on drain 4. The others here to talk about that if you want to go after you get done, whatever.
Mostly that's all I did all week was look at drainage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and turn in requests. But Tyler, as long as we got you here, we had a discussion about, Kyle and I talked together and thought it'd be a good idea if we'd fly that DD4 project. If anybody wants to see
With a
some
drone
pictures,
flight.
yeah, with a drone.
'Cause-
I took a bunch of pictures Saturday and drove.
And for your guys'
3/4 of it.
information, when we had the start of the public hearing, we had a drone flight from the beginning to show the start conditions.
Yeah.
So it would be a good comparison for beginning to end type.
I counted like 66 pipes that need to be shortened or put in differently and a couple tile outlets that are
Need some attention.
need.
There are pipes that are in poor condition that have been broken off because of the change of the side slopes, the geometrics of all of that has changed.
I've been
And-
sent pictures, yeah.
And while I would really like to do something as part of this project, because it is the FEMA funds that we're receiving, they don't allow anything to be repaired that wasn't damaged as part of the event. So we have everything that was repaired. We have photos from before and the conditions and the photos after. However, in the discussions, because landowners have brought up these broken tiles, that this is yet to be done. I do think it's a good idea to get a flight and have it serve as kind of a catalog of what is yet to be done. So that landowners know that we're aware of it, we have the documentation of it, and we're
Well,
planning on.
Yeah, and
Something will eventually be done.
yeah,
about it.
and we need a plan on how we're gonna address where those pipes are gonna dump and what you're gonna dump them into.
Yeah.
Cause we can't dump them into black dirt.
No, if things are being shortened, and there are ones that hang quite a ways out, which was appropriate for when the ditch was more vertical. But if those get cut back, I think it's prudent to put some rock under them for,
Like a
the
splash pad.
stability, right, exactly. But that'll kind of be a case by case that can be evaluated with some drone
And
footage.
when I was up there, and I think it's in like section 28 of Harrison, where Mike Kaler farms,
Yes,
it's a road.
yeah, and that's,
He tried to field cultivate it, it just danced on top. His plan was to have somebody rip it and turn a bill in. I kind of go along with that because when I drove over it, it's hard.
Yes,
And
and
there's
that's,
a lot of rock
I-
back in there.
I spoke with, Mike yesterday
Oh, you did?
about that, yes.
Yeah.
And I gave him some options. I said, I've been in contact with the contractor and it's kind of where it's gonna be from their input. But I said, if you want something, I can't guarantee that, some sort of bill will be reimbursed on the engineer. It's gonna be a board
To the
call.
board.
But I said, if you want it done the way that you want it, if you work it or have someone work it, turn in your bill and that can be certainly discussed and considered.
It isn't farmable the way it is.
No, and there was, we went through, just for confirmation, our records and photos at the office yesterday. Nathan and I went through all of that. At one time, that had all been, I mean, it's been leveled out, because it is level, and it had been worked. The problem is then they took load after load of riprap down that bank and packed it all road grade. So it should be rather clear of debris, I would think. I mean, you're always gonna work something up, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, I cannot argue at all that it needs, to be plantable, or to be a seed bed, it would need to be ripped.
It needs more attention. yeah.
The other part I drove on was some of between Ray and the highway. Some of that ditch bank, not real level. Where the little bridge is
Be
on the
from
golf course,
back behind there,
Oh, okay.
go
towards
west,
169.
towards 169. Some of that wasn't real.
Okay, are you talking on the north side?
North side.
On the north side by the lagoons?
Yeah,
I've wrestled with that for a long time
Uh,
because it's difficult to get it as level as we would want it without pushing more spoil material, and we're already down to the lagoon's fence there.
About the only way to probably do it right would be to take that fence out, push everything down in there, and you'd rebuild the fence about 2 feet higher.
yeah, it's just not very, it doesn't look like a very professional job.
That through that stretch, I will agree, it's rather bumpy and undulating. That was kind of the concession we came to with the lagoons being so
Okay.
close there.
And then Edward Stein, I told him he's had some issues with you and as far as picking up rock and stuff, and I said, take photographs, bring them into the closing, and then the board will make a decision on whether we should pay Ed for doing some of his pickup or not.
Yes, there was, and I had discussions with Ed last fall. He was concerned about the cleanup, and because of this project being extended on, I let him know that the contractor would be required to go in and pick up that debris. But he chose, because he was leery of that. He chose to do it on his own. So I'd let him know that exact same thing about keep track of your time and the effort you have into it, and it can be considered at the completion hearing.
Yeah, and Vince Johnson and Don McGregor both called and I talked to both of them. And they had issues with the pipes and wanted to know what we were going to do. And so being I had 4 people that talked to me about the condition of the pipes, I think it'd be appropriate to fly it. Show all the people that come to the closing what we have to deal with and make a plan on how we're going to address the issues. Without a visual, I think it's hard to explain.
We could be here for a while at the completion hearing, trying to
Mhm.
describe what we're trying to do.
Right.
When we could just throw it right up there. I totally agree. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, those drone flights are, you can't put price on, so.
Yeah,
general consensus of the board to do what we just talked about for drain, DD
Yeah.
four?
Yep.
Anybody have any objections to it? We'll let the minutes show that we agree that, DD four is going to need some visual
Drone flight.
drone flight.
Great, we'll get it flown.
Yep, and then make an accurate count, cause I did a
Yes.
inaccurate count.
Yeah.
I'd say there was 66 that needed attention that I saw. I think there's more.
Yeah, what we'll do is when it processes out the video, our GIS department puts it with an actual interactive map.
Right.
That'll show, and they can pin on a map where every one of those is, and then I'll go through and I can review each location and have an idea of broken, too long,
Right.
too short.
And there's some laying in the bottom that broke off. You gotta be picked up.
Right, there are ones that have broken off that are laying next to ones that they aren't the ones that they broke off from, so.
And could you get a count on the ones that you put in new and the ones that Reitzel put in like 5 years ago, 4 years ago? They're telling me they're all new and I disagree with that.
No, they're definitely not all new,
Right.
and there's some that
I
broke
can
off.
tell you
that
all
are-
of the nice shiny new ones, but I can't tell anything.
Okay, but we should get the new ones so that we can, they're
And I-
telling me that those are new pipe and I disagree.
Right,
No.
and I have,
But they-
there's a log of all of the locations and sizes and all that stuff, so.
And there's even pipes out there that I've seen that are old and rusty that wouldn't have even been replaced from Reitzel's project. So
No, they
they
weren't.
would have been before that point that they were from. So, yeah, there's definitely a mixture out there.
Perfect.
You're gonna get hold of Jim someday and try and figure out, I don't know what he was talking about.
I've talked to, like I said, I talked to Keith a bunch and we're gonna try and look at that this summer if they can find where water's flowing. So, yeah.
He talked about a tile outlet.
And it's one I think we've looked for, we had the contractor look,
They looked for quite a while, I believe.
yeah.
But they couldn't find a tile, they couldn't find water coming through the bank, and they didn't have a real great idea on location either. It was somewhere in this area, so.
I didn't document, but there's one spot where I seen water coming out of the bank without an outlet.
Okay,
Yeah, you'll find it when you do the drone, but
okay,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
cause it's,
it's one of them things that show up.
right, yeah, you can see them.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm thinking
It was on the north side of the bank and it was probably 2 miles up from Bancroft.
okay, that narrows the 13 miles down. That narrows it down just a little bit. That tells me what part of the
Make sure.
haystack to look for that needle in.
Yeah, we'll find it now, I think. when the
Yes.
Tiles start working.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's, and I'll have them fly it nice and low and.
Yeah,
It's all high res video too, so it's.
and then I'm gonna say anybody can drive it, but there is corn planted, so you had to turn around some places and.
there's stuff that's reseeded back to
Right.
CRP, there's stuff that's probably got corn in it.
At this
There will
point,
probably be
that's
beans
it,
too.
road crossing to road crossing is the best way
Yeah,
to deal with that and just aerially, so.
yeah, yeah, unless you go out with a side by side or 4-wheeler and drive the whole thing.
Right, even that, you're.
But you only get one side is my problem.
Yeah.
Then you have to get out all the time and look down the bank to see.
Do,
Yeah,
we doing one of these, yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
Perfect, well, we'll get
Yeah.
right on it.
thank you for coming.
Thank you, yeah, you bet.
Go back to repair requests.
Oh, let's do this a minute with, Tammy sent us an email. Let's get this done.
Well,
Krista.
we have to call Phil to come over, so let's. do
Yeah.
our since
Okay.
he's here.
Let's do drainage.
Then we. will
Should we call
do-
Phil and then have him stand by?
Yeah, call Phil and have him come so we can.
Tammy, you know what his number is.
Right here,
You just gonna,
620.
He said it called his cell phone.
okay,
I'll call his cell phone.
Kyle gets lunch.
yeah.
You just guess.
Did I get? No.
Homework coming.
I'll share.
Yeah.
Carter.
So, this is an answer that if you wanted to do it outside of court, but- Okay. Okay, thank you.
Carter.
Yeah, I had two repairs. First one, number 20, is in section 28 of Sherman Township. It was broken tile, needs repaired for Dean Gorman. And yeah, I went out and looked at it.
What number is it?
It's number 20. And then number 21 for Tom Fisher. There's broken tile in the field that needs repaired there as well. It was on a lateral off the main there. And yep, I also want to look at that one.
Josh?
But I guess that was the second 14 Sherman as well.
Josh, taking care of your repairs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Becker?
I got 19 is in Springfield, section 13 for Lucas Eichenberger outlet pipes. Number 23, Springfield 14, Bill Mavis, broken tile. And 24 is in Lincoln 15, broken tile for Blakeberg.
That one's been finished.
Yep.
And I got one, it's number 22. It's in German Township, section 9. It's a 20-inch tile that's broken. And Brant's supposed to be there fixing it one of these first days. And it's the Beamer family farm and it's farmed by Bankins. Do I have a motion by Jack and a second by
I'll second.
Wactor for the supervisors to take care of their repairs? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimous.
That's about all we can provide for repairs.
I've had some. Well, some have like.
Right. We'll get you one yet, Josh.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
don't like you feeling
You
left
have
out.
anyone now? What's in town? What's in town?
We have an email from Tammy on the wage for the E EMS.
So I was gonna quick print out the email and then click right over, so it will be here.
I did forget to mention, tonight is the Kossuth County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Right.
The JEO representative is gonna be there to go through, updates, changes and any additions or anything like that to our current hazard mitigation plan.
What time is it?
6 o'clock. And they are bringing pizza, so.
Thank you, Marge.
Thank
You don't have to run away. You can stay, you know.
Thanks.
When it's 10 o'clock. Phil's on his way.
Yeah, he said he just had to print out
Do
the.
you know, Kyle, what was changed in this? Anything?
No, I didn't do any work on that. Phil would have put that together, but the biggest thing probably would be the qualifications, like she did say in the email, and they're all like, it's probably not detailed very clearly in the job description itself, but if you reference back to those, like Iowa Department of Public Health paramedic certification, that would have all your specifics. So I would say it's a reference in there. It's otherwise you'd have pages and pages for the job description. So it would separate their qualifications fairly clearly with those references, I would say. I don't know if like in that email, she said other duties as far as maintaining equipment and stuff. And I think Phil could answer this better, but I think they're all responsible for driving ambulances as the need arises,
We have daily tasks,
but,
inventory, cleaning.
but that kind of applies to
that
everyone,
falls to
doesn't it?
everybody, yes.
So I mean, you're probably not going to have much difference in those duties.
So really, did they change anything and what?
She hasn't changed anything. In
Okay.
hers, there, she's just replying to the email.
Based on her email.
And Phil, I said this just a little before you came in, but I said like the qualifications doesn't really have it laid out the differences between there, but if you reference back to those Iowa Department of Public Health certifications, that's where it would really be different.
You know, on that sentence. Sorry, I grabbed all my stuff to go see Todd when we were done here too, so I kinda got a file here, but. Under that, on the job description where it says, it talks about the protocols and the scope of practice. And it says, has understanding, or I don't know what the exact wording is on that, but we could add and the ability to perform set skills and procedures based on level of certification. I mean, we could add that in there, but it's all spelled out in that scope of practice and protocols. What they can function at each level.
Well, they can't go above their scope of practice anyway,
Correct.
so I don't know that we need to say it 10 times.
So EMS personnel all function underneath a medical doctor's license. And they have to follow medical director's scope of practice, which lays out what they can perform at their certification levels and follow the Iowa scope of practice. So they have those guidelines that they have to follow, and it truly specifies what each level can do.
Yeah,
They can do.
that's not something we're gonna change.
Right.
So I am at the point where would I have a motion to approve the staff pay scale and the updated EMS staff job description?
Yeah, I'll make motion for that.
Mr. Stecker makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Wactor. Any discussion?
So the job description we're leaving as presented.
Well, you have to make the change for critical care, but other than that,
that, it's
Not
as
gonna do
presented.
any language.
Yeah.
no, because the qualifications would separate them.
I'm good with it. Everybody else? Although, let's do a roll call vote. We haven't done that yet today.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
second,
Yes,
Derek.
Yes. Thank you.
I could have read them too, Raptor.
What's that?
Could have read them all. too.
I forgot. We could have Phil read this all, yeah.
we do have 57 minutes to go here, so if you wanna, I think we have better things to do with our time, and I'm pretty sure you do. So,
Thanks for coming back, Phil. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
No, it's kind of weird to see all these people going upstairs for jury duty that he was getting tied up. Says available.
Okay,
Thanks, Beth.
Jury duty today?
yeah. Well, let's go take a 10-minute break at least and come back and I would appreciate it if you'd go through your binder and find any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Whipple.
Yep.
Who is now's the time to do it.
I've made notes.
Good,
yeah,
thank
we'll
you.
have 56 minutes.
Yeah, but
Are you stopping and recording, Kyle, or you leaving it?
I think we can stop it because we are not in.
Well, I stopped mine, but I was just
Yeah.
wondering if I should turn the light off or not.
I don't know, that'll be a long hour break, so I'll turn it off.